Today I get hands-on with one of the newest releases from Atelier Wen. It's their Perception. Instead of getting a guilloche dial, you are getting a stone dial, and it is Petersite. Something that is very hard to work with, but of course this is Atelier Wen. They make watches that are hard to make for very good prices. This is based on their Perception, their very popular integrated bracelet watch, one of the best bracelets for the money. So let's flip the camera and take a look at the latest iteration of their Perception from Atelier Wen. Overall, Atelier Wen make very impressive watches, especially considering the price. If this was a Swiss watch made in 904L stainless steel with a stone dial finished at the level that this dial is finished, it would cost a lot more money. Also, if you were getting an ultra thin movement with 32 joules, 41 hours of power reserve, that's adjusted to plus or minus 10 seconds per day, it would cost a lot more money. Also, when you flip over this watch, and something that I always bring up when I'm talking about Atelier Wen, their adjustment system, this on-the-fly micro adjust, is really special. It's not something that you see in any other watch right now. And their bracelet overall is finished at a really high level, and this push button enclosure here is really awesome. So you have this double push button right here, but then there's this little extension. So if you have a large hand like I do, it's easy to get on and off. And then you have their on-the-fly micro adjust, which just slides in and out really easy. And that's all operated on wrist by this button on the top of the clasp. All of this is basically details that you would find on a much higher end, much more expensive watch. But this is not all that expensive considering they are manufacturing most of this in China. There's a lot of layers to the dial. Even though this dial is a stone dial, they've managed to make it somewhat layered. You have a chapter ring, which has that traditional Chinese pattern on it. Then you have the indices, which are embedded into the dial. So that piece of Petersite is actually cut to house those indices, and that creates some layers. It's interesting from different angles as well. And obviously, since it's stone, no two dials will be the same. You have leaf hands on here. The hands themselves are actually hand curved or hand bent. So the seconds and minutes hand, those are bent or curved. Why? Because they can. That's the only reason why they do it. So you get a little bit more of an accurate point to that minutes and seconds, but it really isn't all that necessary. It just looks cool. The hands are leaf hands, the hours and the minutes, and those are filled with lume. We'll do a lume shot towards the end. I believe that is the only lume on the dial. The dial is clean. It is a glossy piece of stone, and it just says Atelier Wen with their logo at the 12 o'clock position. That is it. You have a screwed-in crown, screwed-in case back. The case back does have some artwork on it. It's very nicely embossed on the case back. You have a sapphire crystal in the front and back, AR coating on the front. I think it's like 10 layers on the back. You also get that. However, it's just a smaller window. You don't get to see the full movement. I believe that this is made by Peacock. Dandong is the actual name of this movement. I think that's where they're located, and Peacock is the manufacturer. Peacock make very high-end movements. I actually have one of their watches here with me right now that costs around $3,000, and the movement is basically, I think, very similar to the one that's in this watch. And you can see this is an ultra thin automatic movement, so I think it's only like 3.4 millimeters thick. It's a really good looking movement, and you can see part of that movement from the back of this watch as well. You are getting a tungsten rotor, and it is in a dark color. Looks really good. And the bracelet. The bracelet is gorgeous on this watch. It has always been a highlight of Atelier Wen. And not only the clasp, but the bracelet itself. You have this, it's kind of like a flat link, eye link bracelet. Every single edge is beveled. It feels really nice. It feels a lot more expensive than it actually is. And you know, with that being said, this is not a cheap watch. Atelier Wen aren't cheap, but they are cheap for what you're getting. That's what I've always said. When you look at it on its side, it's thin. And I believe you're getting 100 meters of water resistance with this watch. It's around a 39.9 millimeter watch at the case. You have a thickness of under 10 millimeters thick, and then you have a lug to lug. Well, the lug to lug varies. It's around 47 millimeters, but it goes up from there because you do have male end links. Although they are female end links, I think they act like male end links, so they wear larger. With that being said, I don't think this watch wears very large on wrist. We'll show you that in just a few seconds. On my wrist, I have a very interesting watch. This is a David Rudden made out of entirely meteorite. Well, almost entirely meteorite. The entire case, the top part of the case, is made out of meteorite. It also gets a jump hour, which is a hand-wound 5-day jump hour, which is really cool. It's just an overall really interesting watch from a brand that is no longer in business. And there is the Atelier Wen on my 7.5-inch wrist. And you can see it wears like a 39 millimeter, maybe like a 40 millimeter on my 7.5-inch wrist. You have that 47 millimeter plus lug to lug. On me, it wears like a 47 millimeter because I have a large wrist. If you have a smaller wrist, it's gonna wear maybe a little bit larger than that, but it is thin, under 10 millimeters thick, so it's around 9.5 millimeters thick, and that's because you do have that slim peacock movement, automatic movement inside with that tungsten rotor that you could see from that small window in the case back. Well, actually a little bit of a surprise for me. I didn't realize this. I probably knew this from previous versions that I have featured here on my channel, but that pattern on that chapter ring is loomed. So you have sort of a minute track that is loomed. And then the hands are pretty decently applied with loom as well. There's no loom on the second hand, so that is probably my only complaint. I like to see a little bit of loom on the second hand so that you could see that your watch is working in the dark, but not a big deal. Like I said, this is more of a dressy integrated bracelet watch rather than a sporty integrated bracelet watch, even though this is pretty capable with 100 meters of water resistance. But there you go. Tell me what you guys think down in the comment section below. Price on this is $3,600, and there's an ordering window that is open until February 8th, I believe. So they will make your watch if you order it before February 8th. After that, they will no longer make this watch, and that will be it. I think the first 200 or 250, something like that, will be numbered. After that, they will not number them. So if you are interested in this watch and you want to get a numbered version, try and order as early as possible. If you don't care, then you can wait until the 8th and order them. Tell me what you think of this watch down in the comment section below. Like I said, I really am impressed with these watches, specifically watches from Atelier Wen, Peacock in general. I think they make some really, really impressive watches for the price. If this were a Swiss watch, it would be $15,000, $20,000. Since it's not, it's made in China, 904L stainless steel, sapphire, a really special dial, things like that in a Swiss watch would cost a lot more money. Tell me what you guys think down in the comment section below. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. I will put a link to this watch down in the description. Definitely check it out if you are interested. And that is really it, guys. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for logging on. I will catch you guys in the next video.